Yeah.
You killed 7 men.
Yes, you
And
did.
I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7
And I'm
men?
telling you because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
Not everybody is killing 7 people. So there must have been something in you that was getting you to do that.
You are lost, Nick.
She roamed the highways of Florida, leaving a trail of death in her wake. A woman who society never expected to be a killer became one of the most feared names in American crime history. Aileen Wuornos wasn't just a murderer. She was a symbol of tragedy, rage, and survival. Her story is one of abuse, neglect, and horrifying violence. This is the chilling true story of Aileen Wuornos, the most infamous female serial killer in American history. Welcome back to Real Crime Stories, where we uncover the darkest truths behind some of the most chilling crimes in history. Today we're diving deep into the life, crimes, and psyche of Aileen Wuornos. From a childhood filled with abuse to the brutal murders that shook the nation, we'll explore what drove her to commit crimes so shocking that her name became synonymous with terror, and how the world continues to debate whether she was a cold-blooded killer or a victim of circumstance. Childhood and early trauma. Aileen Carol Wuornos was born on February 29, 1956, in Rochester, Michigan. Her entrance into the world was marked by tragedy. Her father, a convicted sex offender, abandoned the family before she was born. And her mother, plagued by alcoholism, was unable to care for her. Aileen and her brother were sent to live with their grandparents in rural Florida, where life was far from safe or nurturing. Her grandfather reportedly sexually abused her, and her grandmother struggled to maintain control in a household filled with neglect and violence. By the age of 11, Aileen had already experienced sexual abuse, and by 14, she ran away from home. She began living on the streets, fending for herself in an unforgiving world. These early experiences planted the seeds of mistrust, fear, and anger that would later manifest in horrifying ways. Teenage years and early adulthood. Life on the streets was brutal. Aileen survived by turning to prostitution at a very young age. By her late teens, she was already in trouble with the law, facing arrests for petty crimes and eventually spending time in juvenile detention. Despite these challenges, she tried to find connection and stability. She briefly married in her early 20s, but the marriage ended in failure, leaving her without support or guidance. During this time, Aileen met Tyria Moore, a woman who would become both her partner and companion for several years. Tyria's presence in her life added a personal dimension to Aileen's story, one of love and companionship amidst the chaos. However, the couple also lived on the fringes of society, and Aileen continued her work as a sex worker, exposing herself to danger on a daily basis. The murders begin.
I was a hitchhiking hooker.
Right.
Running into trouble. I shoot the guy if I ran into trouble. Physical trouble. The cops knew it.
In 1989, Aileen Wuornos began a killing spree that would shock the nation. Over the next year, she murdered 7 men along Florida highways. Each of the killings followed a similar pattern. She would pick up men offering her a ride and claim self-defense after they attempted to sexually assault her. She shot each man at close range. The randomness of her victims initially made it difficult for law enforcement to connect the murders. Victims came from different towns, backgrounds, and occupations, and the crimes seemed isolated, but patterns emerged. The men were generally middle-aged, alone, and unsuspecting, accepting rides from a woman who appeared harmless. The brutality and audacity of Aileen's actions made her a target of intense media scrutiny, who quickly dubbed her the Monster. Despite her claims of self-defense, investigators collected evidence linking her directly to the murders, including ballistic matches and witness statements. As the net closed, Aileen's life spiraled further out of control, and law enforcement moved in for the capture that would end her killing spree. Arrest and trial. In January 1991, Aileen Wuornos was arrested after a police chase. Her arrest captivated the nation. A woman who had terrorized the highways was now in custody. Her trial was widely covered, with the media portraying her as a monstrous figure. She admitted to the killings, but insisted that each one had been in self-defense. Despite her testimony, the evidence against her was overwhelming. Ballistics, witness reports, and her own confessions led to convictions. In 1992, she was sentenced to death.
I know I was raped, and you ain't nothing but a bunch of scum.
Therefore, these proceedings are now
Putting
concluded.
somebody who was raped to death.
Her story highlighted not only the crimes themselves, but also the media frenzy surrounding a female serial killer, a phenomenon rarely seen in American history. Media sensation and controversy. Aileen's notoriety grew as the media painted her as a depraved, almost mythical figure. Films, documentaries, and books explored her life, with the 2003 film Monster starring Charlize Theron bringing her story to international attention. The movie humanized her to some extent, portraying her as both a victim and a perpetrator. The controversy surrounding Aileen Wuornos continues. Scholars, psychologists, and true crime enthusiasts debate whether she was purely a cold-blooded killer or a woman shaped by trauma, abuse, and societal neglect. Her case forced the public to confront uncomfortable questions about gender, violence, and the circumstances that create criminals. Execution and legacy.
I'm just wondering how you're going to be, at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared. I'm all right with it.
Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002, at Florida State Prison. She was 46 years old. Her final statements reflected both defiance and remorse, cementing her complex legacy. She remains one of the most infamous female serial killers in history, not just for her crimes, but for the ongoing debate about why she became who she was. Her case continues to be studied in criminology and psychology courses. Aileen Wuornos represents a rare and extreme example of female criminality, but she also highlights systemic failures, a childhood filled with abuse, societal neglect, and a lack of support for vulnerable women. Aileen Wuornos' story is a chilling reminder that trauma, neglect, and violence can intersect in deadly ways. She was a murderer, a victim, and a symbol of how society fails its most vulnerable. Her legacy is both terrifying and tragic, and understanding her story helps us confront uncomfortable truths about crime, gender, and human psychology. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe Real Crime Stories channel, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the world's most infamous true crime stories.